Welcome back. Well, this is our fourth day riding on the road with our South Island crew. We're leaving Invercargill now, and since we came to Invercargill we've added one more rider to our group. Jan has joined us from Deep South Kiwi chapter, and we're now all travelling. We met up for breakfast at the Ascot Park Hotel in Invercargill. Really nice breakfast, and now we're on the road. We're going to, well, we're aiming to end up at Mosgiel today, but we have a few adventures along the way, so let's get on with it. Well, the first adventure, if you could call it that, was getting separated in traffic as we came out of the Ascot Park in the early morning. This is a Thursday morning in February of this year, so it's quite a different scene down in the South Island now. A little bit cold, a little bit icy, but back in February we had a perfect summer day for this particular ride. Yeah, we got separated in traffic coming out of the Ascot Park in the Thursday morning Invercargill rush hour, and that's why we stopped at the side of the road back there to join up. Now we all caught up again. We're now back in the open roads. We're heading up towards Edendale, which is going to be the first town of note that we pass on the way through to, well, this is going to take us through Edendale, Tapanui. We're going to head up through Roxburgh as well. We're going to fuel up at Alexandra, and that's where this video is going to stop before we carry on and have a little bit more fun later on in the day, but that will be coming up in another video when we have to deal with a little bit of a mini crisis and some pretty fast decisions and a lot of support and help from everybody along to finish this particular day's ride safely. Now, changing the subject a little bit, one of the towns that we passed through on the way today, well before Tapanui, was Gore, and it's a town I've heard of a little bit, and I must say Gore surprised me. It's much bigger than I expected. I didn't film anything in Gore, which is why it kind of slipped my mind when I was doing a recap before, but we did go through a few towns on this particular leg of the journey that I'd only heard of before. Gore is kind of well known, or noted, at least as far as I know, as being the country music capital of the country, and it's a decent sized town. It's about 8,500 people, as I found out, and the town is really respectable size. It surprised me a lot. And one thing I enjoy about riding through Southland, for the large part, there's some really big wide open spaces, and you can really get a feel of the scale of the country. Really enjoyable riding. Of course, with these wide open spaces can often come a lot of wind. It can be a bit challenging when you're on the motorbike, but we didn't have too much blowing on us today. It was really kind of perfect conditions, pleasant for riding. Roads were in great shape, and riding with a great bunch of people, so yeah, life doesn't get better than that. Now, we spent a lot of time on State Highway 90, particularly the Tapanui Race Junction Highway section of it, and it's a road of many contrasts. As you can see here, we kind of were on some big flatland for a while, then ended up diving down into some kind of gully valley place. Looked pretty spectacular. And if you're wondering what our daily travel distance is, or at least the distance we're travelling on this day's ride, the ride planned from Ascot Park to finish in Mosgiel was going to be about 480 kilometres, which is fairly typical daily run. In this particular video, from Invercargill through to Alexandra, it's going to be the first section of that. It's going to be about 210 to 220 kilometres, which is why we're going to see a little bit of changing landscapes, because we're heading north at quite a rate. We will arrive in Alexandra around about midday, and that's having left the Ascot Park just before 9 o'clock in the morning. A little bit of a later start than we would normally have, but you get that when you're touring. Sometimes you just need to have a little bit more time. Now, coming up soon, we're going to be bidding farewell to the Tapanui Race Junction Highway, State Highway 90. It's been a lot of fun travelling it, but we're just about to turn left now, get onto State Highway 8, also known as the Ettrick Race Junction road. And this one's going to take us up through Miller's Flat, Roxburgh and a few other places before depositing us at Alexandra, where we could fill up the motorbikes with a little bit more fuel to keep us going through the rest of the day. It's always a great pleasure riding through the country, and especially the South Island, with groups of your friends, your really good mates. And there's so many good reasons to be riding with a group of riders, as we were to find out later on this day. But we had a little bit of a problem on our bike, which I'll go into in more detail in next week's video. But certainly the whole complexion of the ride changed once we got to pull up to a little bit of a regroup at a place called Ranfurly. But it's coming up next week. Let's not preempt that. We'll just carry on with the ride here today, carrying on to Alexandra. Now, what you may not know about this area of Southland that we're riding through, particularly as we come up towards Roxburgh, is that it's well known for summer fruit. A lot of the summer fruit that we might get around the country will come from Roxburgh. That's included, I'm talking about cherries, I'm talking about apricots, peaches as well. So yeah, the combination of warm dry summers and cold winters makes it the perfect recipe for developing some amazing fruit. So get a chance, check it out. Now, all that talk of fruit's making me hungry, but we didn't actually get any fruit on the way. We did stop in Roxburgh, but just to stretch the legs a little bit. We were just up the road from a bunch of boys who were doing some adventure bike riding, and they'd also pull over to stop and have a rest and a break at the local pub just there. But we were planning to eat a little bit further up the road at Chateau Creek. So no fruit for us today in Roxburgh, so we'll just have to wait for that until the next time. In the meantime, we're now coming in much closer to Alexandra. We left Roxburgh now far behind. Coming around the corner onto a place interestingly called the Half Mile, which I'm guessing must be the half mile before the Alexandra Bridge, which is quite a nice looking bridge, leads into the town itself. And as with Gore, Alexandra, surprised, it's a little bit of a bigger town than I expected. I've read there's about 6,000 people or resident population in the town, but it's spread out quite nice. It's got a very spacious feel about it. It's got everything you could need from a small town, so yeah, more power to it. Maybe we'll spend some more time here one time, who knows. Our purpose here today was pretty much passing through. We are stopping only at the service station to top up the bikes, give them a bit of a drink before we carry on the next leg, which is going to take us up to Chateau Creek to get some lunch and then carry on from there. Now, as we're coming down here, turning onto Centennial Ave, a well-used name in most towns in New Zealand, large and small. We're going to find the service station, pull over and give the bikes a drink. We've been just over 200 kilometres today. We've got about another 300 kilometres to go, so it's certainly time to splash a little bit more fuel at the Iron Horses before we carry on for the rest of our trip. Hope you can make it back next week. You'll be seeing the ride leaving from Chateau Creek, heading down to Ranfurly, and then some of us will be travelling on separately down to make our way to Mackayburn Beach in Dunedin, and that's where we're going to leave it today. So take care out there, ride safe, have fun, see you next time.